Hey guys, it's Angie. Today I'm going to be reviewing an alcohol activated palette for you, and this one in particular is from European Body Art. As you know, I really love my alcohol palettes. If you remember any of my special effects tutorials, which I'm going to be making more very soon, you know that I use those a lot, and the reason behind it is because they pretty much changed the way I did makeup. I've been playing with them for about a year, 2 years now, and they're one of my favorite ways to apply kind of realistic makeups. So this alcohol palette in particular is from European Body Art, and it is the Encore alcohol activated palette, and it looks like this. You can see this was released very recently, and I've known about it for quite a while because I do work with European Body Art some. I've done some demos and things for them, but I've been really excited for this because I've been hearing about it for months and it's finally here, so I'm so happy to share it with you guys. And the palette that I have is the Undead Palette, which has 10 shades, and I'm just going to show you that right now. 10 different shades to create kind of undead flesh and things of that nature. There's some blood colors, there's some, grays, there's some yellows and some greens and some blues, some faint kind of colors. There is another palette that has the FX colors. So there's 20 colors in total, which is pretty phenomenal. So yeah, I'm going to go through each color and show you swatches of them. But first, let me just show you the anatomy of this palette. And European Body Art did this right, let me tell you right now, because they built this from scratch. And what I mean is that they built this whole entire palette system from scratch. They also include like this nice plastic mixing palette right here. You could take it out. If I could use my fingers, you can take it out like that and just use it to mix your alcohol colors. Now here is the kicker, guys. This is what is so revolutionary to me and what I'm most excited about for this palette. The pans, the colors are removable. So you see, you just use your finger, lift it up, and you can take that pan out. It's magnetic, fits right back down in there perfectly. And these colors are all based on Endura colors, which is their alcohol colors. And they have pretty much perfected these by hand. They go through each color, perfect it until they get the color that is up to European Body Art standards, which are very high. So these colors are all based around the European Body Art airbrush colors, the Endura colors. So you can use them with the airbrush colors too. You can use them separately, but you can also use them in conjunction, which makes them brilliant. But really, the fact that you can take the pans out is pretty brilliant, because that means if you run out of this color, if this is your favorite color and you run out of it, you can buy a refill pan, stick it back in there. You don't have to buy a whole other palette just to get that one color that you love. Now we're going to move on to swatching this bad boy, so I'm going to show you all the colors in the Undead palette. These paints are activated with 99% alcohol, so I have a little bit in the glass here, and I'm just going to go through each shade. So the first shade is this gray, and it's called a light gray. And I usually like to pick it up with my brush. You can put, a little bit of alcohol in it, in the pan, and let it kind of dissolve the paint a little bit. But I like to pick it up with my brush. I feel like I can control the opacity this way. So this is the light gray color. You can see that goes on pretty opaque. And all you have to do is add a little more alcohol. And you can change the transparency of that. So hopefully you can see that. My lighting's not the best, because I am here in North Carolina at home visiting my family. But again, you can build on top of that and make it pretty opaque. This would be a nice color to gray somebody out if you're doing like a dead makeup or a zombie. This other color, which is called Pale Dead, is kind of a light yellowish color. Again, this is going to be good for like a zombie or a dead makeup. So again, just sweeping the brush into the palette, into the pan, and picking up that color. And you can see that goes on pretty opaque as well. And you can build it up a little more if you'd like. And add some alcohol. And you can get a wash of that color again. That's the reason that I love these palettes and these paints in particular, because the skin can actually show through like it really naturally would in real life. So it's very easy to achieve realistic makeups. The next color is Nicotine Stained, and this is obviously, nicotine, that gross, nasty mustard color. So here's one swipe of that. It's super pigmented and it goes on really nice. It's not patchy. I'm going to thin it out a little bit and show you kind of a wash of that color, which is primarily how you would probably use it. Now we have Vein Tone, which is always one of my favorite colors in these palettes for some reason, because I think Vein Tones it's a really hard color to get, but when it's in a palette, it works beautifully and you don't have to mix up the different colors because it's always kind of a bluish green, kind of like almost like a teal, but there's a green to it. So, you know, I always love having them already pre-mixed, but here we have it in this palette and that is their version. Again, you can even build it up on top of that color. And for the most part, you're going to use a very thin wash of this color for a real vein effect. So this is what it would look like, you know, like real thin underneath the skin kind of effect, which is what is most realistic. This palette would not be complete without a blood color, and this is called Aged Blood. And Aged Blood is going to be kind of more of a dried out, kind of a maroonish, brownish color in real life. So hopefully it will be that kind of color here. And that does look very appropriate. And again, like I've been showing in each one of these, you can build them up. Just depending on the opacity and how much alcohol you have is what the color is going to be when you achieve it. This next color is called Vein Blood. You can never have enough blood colors. I wish there was actually a blood palette. That would be awesome. It's a really nice color. Blood has a lot of kind of oxide in it, or like iron. So it does have kind of a brownish tint to it. Now we're going to do a wash of that color. Real nice for irritation around the skin or around a wound. Now we have Charcoal, which is a nice dark gray. See how lovely that is. I'm going to thin it out again and give you a wash of that color. For all you green lovers, we have Night Swamp, which definitely looks like Creature from the Black Lagoon. But you can't go wrong with that. See, that's a nice kind of dirty olive color. Thin that out again. Next color is a bruise color, and it's Bruised Purple, which we always want bruise colors because that is just essential. That's Bruised Purple, and let's thin it out a little bit, which is how you pretty much use it for a bruise. Then the last color is called Dirty Brown, which would be great for making someone appear dirty, which I guess is that explains the name. Also nice and pigmented. Thin it out a bit. Again. So I have all of these colors right here on my arm. As you can see, they are very versatile. The opacity is brilliant. When they're translucent, they're brilliant. They go on smooth. They're not patchy. They smell amazing. I don't know if I mentioned this, but they smell like the Endura paints from European Body Art, which smell like cotton candy, and it's brilliant because when you're using alcohol, it can irritate people, you know, it can irritate their nose, it can irritate their eyes, but this Endura kind of formulation is very pleasant and it makes the whole room smell like cotton candy. So the fact that they smell good is another added bonus. One of the best things about the alcohol palettes or the alcohol colors is that they are water resistant. So you could run your arm underneath a water faucet and this wouldn't come off. You could sweat and this wouldn't come off. Really, really brilliant. But since we're already here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you a bruise. So I would get it kind of thinned out. And you can use a sponge or a brush. I prefer sponges, but I don't have any with me. So what you would do is just kind of stipple it where your bruise would be. You can use a little bit more alcohol to let the colors dissipate and kind of diffuse. And then if you wanted to add a little bit of red, and grab this vein color, this vein red, or vein blood, sorry. Add that into the bruise. Just kind of stippling motions. Even your finger helps. Need a little more purple, you can do that. And the last color I would use is this Nicotine Stained, because there tends to be some yellow around bruises, especially the outer perimeter of them, as they're healing especially too. And there you have a quick bruise. Alright guys, that's it for the swatches of the Undead Palette. I hope you did enjoy those, and now it's time for a very special giveaway. I have a very nice gift certificate for one of you guys, and this gift certificate is for European Body Art, and they kindly donated this for you guys, and I thought that was very generous and very nice. So all you have to do is go to their site, check out some of their products. They have a lot of different things. You'd be kind of surprised. Lots of airbrush paints and, you know, airbrush compressors and all kinds of things of that nature, even the Encore palettes. So all you have to do is leave me a comment telling me something on their site that interests you, whether it be some of their stencils or some of their, you know, airbrush guns. Just leave me a comment below and I will pick a winner in about a week. So I'll have everything listed below. Make sure, if you leave me a comment and enter this giveaway, make sure to check your messages, because I've had lots of winners not get their prizes because they don't check their messages, and it makes me so sad. So please check your messages, and if you win, congratulations. But otherwise, that's it for this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and join me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Otherwise, that's it for me guys. Thanks for watching again, and take care. Bye.